Okay, let's get serious. Hello guys, good evening. How are you guys doing today? It's another beautiful day, another gorgeous day, another bright day, another day to be positive. So today we are going to be talking about another episode of She's in Nursing School. And I was supposed to come up here and talk to you guys about the first semester, but I got so busy. That semester ended pretty quickly. The next one started and I was like, okay, I'll do it. Procrastination. But here I am. So I'm gonna be talking about 2 semesters. I'm gonna be talking about a lot of things, guys. I'll talk about the classes I took, what happened along the way, what I learned, what worked for me, what didn't work for me. What the heck? Hey, I'm about to make a video. Hi, mommy. Hi, baby. I thought she was sleeping. Oh. But I'll call you back later, okay? Bye. Bye, baby. Bye. Alright, let's get right into it. So I'm gonna be talking about firstly the classes I took. I took foundation, I took the didactic and the clinicals, I took health assessment, I took introduction to the nursing profession, I took evidence-based practice. That was like a research class. There's one other class that was like a medical terminology class. That was all I took. It was total of 6 classes. But in nursing school, the letter grade you need to pass is you need a C in your exam, and what is considered C is a 75 and above. The big thing that really shakes me a little bit in my first semester was foundation. Obviously, like I said earlier on, I almost failed foundation. So I don't know if I'm allowed to come here and say my grade, but the first exam I took, I did not really do good. I got like a 70. The second exam I took, I got the worst grade. I got a 67. My third exam, I got a 73. You guys, at this point, your girl was done. I was like, yo, is this the devil trying to come get me? Like, what the fuck is happening? The crazy thing was, before I took the third exam, right, the week, that was the last week to like drop the class with a W. Everybody was telling me, Jen, just drop the class. I was like, no, I'm not gonna drop the class. Like, the fact that I had one more exam, I was hoping that I was gonna make up 3 exams with 1 exam. I don't know how I got that theory, but for some reason it worked for me. And it was about to be the 4th exam, and you guys even got tougher, because by the time we took the 4th exam, we had started clinicals. So it was so hard trying to go to clinicals for the first time and trying to like juggle those classes together. Like I was like, oh my god, this is not possible. There's no way this is possible. I was so sure that I was gonna fail foundation. Like, the only person that was gonna tell me otherwise was if God came to me in person and told me, it's okay, baby girl, you got this, you're gonna pass. That was the only time I was gonna say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna pass. But I was so sure. Before I got my 3rd exam grade, I actually really studied for that exam, because I was towards we had like the little meet and break, and I did not do anything for meet and break. And you guys, and when I saw that grade, I was so devastated. Like, I started crying so bad. Oh my god, it was so ugly. And I prayed that night, and I went on my knees and I prayed. I cried to God. I said, God, you need to come help me. I know I've been trying this thing my way, but I need you to come. And so the next day I met a friend, and I told her, I was like, are you passing foundation? And she said yes. I was like, okay, I need to pass foundation. I have 1 more exam left, and the hesi. I'll talk about the hesi in a bit. And I said I need to pass it, because that's all I got, just those 2 exams. So she gave me like a side of like a bunch of questions that I should go study with them, that they would help me understand the process, like, of taking the questions more. Honestly, when I took that 4th exam, there were some things that I noticed that I changed. I changed the way I was thinking. I started going to the gym again. I was just like, okay, whatever, at this point I can't do anything, you know. I was kind of living freely, no tension. I just changed my whole, like, the way, you know, I approach things. You know, I was just free. I was just free. Maybe that was what I needed. So when I took the exam, y'all, ugh, I'm gonna cry talking about it, but like, I don't know how that happened, but I was able to make up 3 exams and still pass the class. So y'all do the maths, okay? Which was a very huge thing for me. So I passed the exam, the whole class, with just 1 exam, which was a huge miracle that I did not see coming. I'll call her my friend. I'll call her my little angel, because she came right when I spoke to God, and I felt like God just sent her to me. So it was a very beautiful thing, and that experience really taught me a lot of things that I used to take into the next semester. So the next thing I'm going to talk about in my first semester was my study pattern. I noticed that my study pattern was kind of changing. Yeah, obviously I was the one that made the schedule and all of that, but I noticed that I was doing a lot of unrealistic schedule. Like, I would put a bunch of classes, and I just know in my heart that, girl, you're not going to study that. Stop wasting your time, you know. So another advice I would give is, when you make your study schedule or whatever plan you have, make sure you make them very realistic, something that you know, okay, for a fact I'm gonna read. That did not work for me, and you know, I learned from that too as well. So another thing I'm gonna be talking about is the hesi. So the hesi in nursing school is different from the hesi you take when you're trying to get into the exam, when you're trying to get into the program. But in nursing school, it's just different kind of questions, mainly what you like. They tailor the questions to what you learn for the semester. Yeah, sometimes the questions might not be, you might see something you haven't learned before, and that's fine, because we have like a little hesi book. It's like a green book. Yeah, that book was my savior. So in my school, at least, we needed an 850 to pass the hesi, and we needed of course still the 75. Your exam grade needs to average a 75. So with 850, yeah, you're gonna get it at 75, but sometimes it might not be enough to help you out if you're failing the class. And that was what I actually had in mind when I was failing foundation at the time, because I felt like, okay, if for any reason I did not do good in the 4th exam, I'm gonna study my ass out in the SC. That was like an external exam, so I was hoping that was gonna be like a little bit better, because my teachers were not setting it, because for some reason I thought that the problem were from the questions, or the way my teachers were setting the questions. So I was hoping that the hesi would help me, which honestly it did not. I did not rely on the SC. Obviously my conversion score was pretty high, so I did not have to take it again. So what did I really learn from first semester? I learned that your attitude has a lot to do with the outcome of your success. So if you are a negative person, there is definitely a possibility that your outcome will be negative. Another thing I learned was that I realized that I was just studying and studying. I wasn't taking breaks. I wasn't snacking. You know, get some snacks and just eat it, and you know, free your mind. Don't tense yourself up when you feel like your brain is dying or your brain is shutting down. You know, go do something else, get your mind out of it. And guys, I think that is very effective. So if I'm to give an advice, I would suggest that. So for me, what I did was, there are videos on YouTube that you know, you can do like study with me videos, and you know, in between those videos they have like breaks. So what I go with them, and then when they take breaks, I take breaks. Something that just, you know, distract my brain from just studying. When I come back, I feel a little bit more like refreshed and a little bit more like ready to get it. That was something that I wasn't doing, and then when I started doing it, or when I did it for the 4th exam, it worked for me, and I saw a huge difference in my grade. That's pretty much it for first semester. As you guys can see, it was kind of a tough semester for me. Not just in terms of the workload. Like I said, the work in first semester was not that bad. It was just the fact that I was failing foundation, and what that really made me, you know, feel like, and how I acted. I did not really take that good. I was very negative to everybody, and you know, life was not really fun. And I noticed that towards the end, when I changed that attitude, I saw a huge difference in not just my grade, but like my well-being, you know. and I started going to the gym. I started doing the things I used to do, and things got better. So in summary, give yourself some self-love. You need it. You are definitely gonna need it, especially in your first semester, when you just get thrown into this field and you don't even know what the heck is happening, and you're just in there blinded. And yeah, of course you have other students that's going through the same thing with you, but still everybody has their own struggles. So I think that was like the biggest thing for me. So we're gonna get right into second semester classes I took. So I took pharmacology, I took med surg 1. There's 1 and 2. The 1 is the chronic part, and then the 2 is the acute part. I took mental health. I took a class that is called like aging class. It's for like the geriatric patient, the older patient. My hardest class was mental health, followed by pharmacology. Now I know some of you might be like, what the heck, why is mental health hard? It's just mental health. Y'all, that was what I thought when the semester started. I was like, oh, it's mental health, it's not gonna be bad. It's a very, very different kind of nursing, y'all. There's a certain way that they expect you to talk, therapeutic communication and all of that. There's certain kind of disease processes, and when you're dealing with mental health, you're not really dealing with people that are mentally stable. You're dealing with patients that are very, very mentally unstable. It's a kind of different word for you, especially if you're not very introduced to that kind of lifestyle in the first place. I am not used to talking to mentally unstable people every day of my life, so it was very hard to kind of find the right word to use, because some words that you can say or some things that you can say might trigger a patient or might make them feel a kind of way. So those were the kind of things that I had to learn. So I think that was why it was difficult. In terms of intensity, I would say my most intense class was pharm. It was kind of hard, trying to know about a drug and then know pharm was kind of hard, because trying to know about a particular kind of drug, and not just knowing the drug but knowing when you can give it, what you should look out for. I think those were that was what made it very hard. Plus these medications I'm telling you about, it's not just one medication. In a chapter we might have like 6-7 medications, I think, yeah, or more. And my exams was horrible. It was a summer semester. It was very short. It was very fast. It was very intense. And for med surg, it was neutral. Honestly, med surg was did not really kick my ass that much for the classes. Now let's go back to what the main important thing that I think that really worked for me for second semester. The first thing I was going to talk about, or I'm going to talk about, is my study pattern. So yes, I changed the way I studied. I started making my schedule very, very realistic. I would make sure that every day I went through a subject. No matter how much I did, it doesn't matter. I would make sure I did something. But I had a schedule. I tried my best to follow it. I had days that I would say, okay, this is the day I'm going to dedicate to homework. I will do all my homework on this day, and the other days I will study. Now for our clinicals, we had clinicals every other week. So we would have 1 week, and the next weekend we're gonna be up. So when I have my off weekends, what I do is I just try to catch up on work. I try to catch up on my studies. I try to try to get ahead. It's very hard to get ahead in nursing school, especially in the second semester, in the summer semester, because some of you your second semester might not be the summer semester. So but for me, it was the summer semester. It's very hard to catch up on work, so I try to do that on those weekends that I would not go to clinicals. There are times that my clinicals, like the weekend I had clinicals, met up with another week that I had another exam. For instance, I would have clinicals this weekend, and then the next week I have pharm. So I did not really have enough time to really study for pharm most times. I don't know how I passed pharm. but I guess my method was, hopefully you guys have a better semester for farm, a longer semester to really space out your study, because it can be very, very overwhelming. Another thing I would recommend is you guys find an activity. I don't know what it is that you guys like to do, if it is to go to the gym, if it is to dance, if it is to sing. Every day I listen to music. At least I try my best to listen to music every day, just because, like I said earlier, music is a way for me to get over stress. It's my one effective. It works for me. It works for me all the time. So just find something once in a while. Go out with your friend. Go grab a cup of coffee. Go get a cup of wine, a glass of wine. Go to the restaurant. Just do something that is just not school, and give yourself enough time to relax, enough time to rest, because you are gonna get very, very burnt out very easily, very quickly. It got to the point where I was just doing school. I got very sick a couple of times. You know, I got sick. I wasn't gonna be able to get up from my bed. It was just so bad, and like, you know, I would just take a break, take a step back again. Like I said, honestly, the semester got very, very intense for me towards the end, because at the beginning of the semester, you know, you still have the whole energy, you still have all the whole like motivation, but towards the end things are about to like die down. You get tired, you just want it to end, so you start to like lay back. Don't wait for the last exam to say, okay, it's okay, I have 3 exams so I can play with my first 2. No, don't do that. So make your first 2 exams, or your first exam, your biggest challenge. Another thing that I would say that really, really worked for me is, you guys, your attitude. Nursing school is a very negative program. Now, this is a thing about negativity. When you go into a negative situation negatively, the outcome would definitely be negative. When you are going into something negative, you want to attack it with an opposite, which is a positive outcome, or positive energy. You will need to attack nursing school with positivity. If you're a negative person, before you get into that program, honey, just change that about you. The program is the person. It is a negative program. You just have to attack it the other way, if that makes sense. Okay. Another thing that I would suggest, which was something that I did not really do, I noticed that there are times that I skipped meals. I wasn't eating adequately like I am supposed to be eating. Believe it or not, eating is very essential in nursing school. You are doing a lot of work with your brain. Your brain needs food, and I noticed there are times I was getting very sick because I wasn't eating. So just try your best and eat something, even if it's breakfast. Have some snack in your house, something that you just snack on, healthy snack of course. Before you study, eat something, just do it. Another thing is hydration. I noticed I wasn't getting adequate hydration. I was getting very dehydrated. I would get like bad headaches that would be there for like days. So I started drinking a lot of water. I noticed that, and when I started drinking a lot of water, obviously that improved, my headache improved. So nutrition is very, very adequate in that program. Another thing I want to talk about that's very important is when you are making group sections, like study groups, please do not make more than 3 people in a group. When they are more than 3, it becomes a social garden. I learned this from my teacher, and not that I learned this from her, because I have experience. When there's more than 3 people in that group, what you guys end up doing is you go there and you start to talk about things that are very unrelated to the purpose of that meeting. And guess what? You're spending 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours talking about nonsense, and you have an exam and time is ticking. By the time you leave there, you'll be like, what the heck did I do today? Nothing, because you went there to talk. So make sure you make a group that is a group of like 2, 3 maximum, you know, to study. I think this is it. This has summarized the video. This has summarized what I have to say here. I know this is a very long video. I am gonna try my best to do this thing where you can like cut the video like into parts, so that way you don't have to watch everything if you don't want to, and you can just go watch like the things that you think are very important, or the most important things that you think you need out of this. But I will be coming with updates as the semester goes on, so you guys can see how it's going. But yes, this is it, guys. Thank you for taking your time and sitting down here to listen to me, and I hope I have been able to give you guys information that has been helpful to you. My Instagram account got hacked, so I have a new Instagram account. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the Instagram below. So if you've been sending me questions in the old account and I haven't answered you, I am not snubbing you, honey. It's just that I don't have an Instagram access to. I don't have an access to answer your questions. So just send back all your questions to my new account, and I'm gonna go ahead and answer you guys' question. I'm kind of free right now for the next 2 weeks, so we'll see how that goes. But yes, thank you guys, and have a wonderful evening.